All right, Bob, week 2. We're going to start with the major scales and the minor scales, then we'll move on to your new riffs, and we'll close out with those 2 simple chord progressions I suggested. The major scales use the open string plus the 2nd fret and the 4th fret, but you play them with your 1st and 3rd fingers. And the sequence in the key of E major would look like this. So you play them ascending and descending. And the great thing is that the pattern remains constant if you shift to the A string and start over for an A scale. These are single note scales, but if you play each one twice, we call that a repeated note scale, which makes it a little bit easier. Remember to play close to the edge of the fret, the front edge. As close to the metal without touching it as you can be. And that pattern will repeat for the D major scale. Once you switch to the minor scales, now we're talking about 2nd fret, 1st finger, which is the same as the major, but 3rd fret, 2nd finger. So now we're not using 3, and we're incorporating the 2nd finger for the first time. And these play open 3, open 2, like this. And similarly, you can play A with the same pattern, starting on the A string. And D will be the same way. I'll double the notes here. Repeating note scales. These are generally what I recommend, is repeating notes. It's easier to assimilate the information. Okay, now we'll start with your riffs. Bad to the bone, I'm going to add that little that 2-note chord, which is your 1st finger playing on the D string at the 2nd fret, but in your right hand, over here, you have a 2-note chord. You play the 5th and 4th string simultaneously. And it's short, long, or 1, 2, 1, 2, however it helps to think about it. So you would connect the riff you practiced last week to that, like so. A bit of an extended version of that. Now you can try the Clapton riff, Crossroads, which takes your 1st finger and shifts it down to the G string. You can leave it there, and you start with the open A string, and you play. Finally, the Rolling Stones tune incorporates both a slide and a hammer-on. Slide is when you continue to let the string vibrate, but shift to a new fret without relinquishing the pressure. That's an ascending and a descending slide. A hammer-on is when you pluck a string and then simply peel that finger off while leaving the preceding finger on, so that you sound 2 notes with 1 pluck. Now, the whole riff goes like this. Starts on B at the 2nd fret. So it's your A string at the 2nd fret. And then, finally, there's that little blues figure. If you start with the 2-note chord from Bad to the Bone, again playing the A and D strings simultaneously, a mini chord, you play each one twice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is the foundational figure for simple blues playing. The stretch is hard, but once you get it, it's kind of a fun little figure to play on. Lastly, You don't know how it feels, Tom Petty. 2 strums on E major, 2 strums A major. Think of me what you will. I've got a little space to fill. And if you just change the E major to an E minor, you can play Oye Como Va. Oye Como Va. Que ritmo puedo hablar. I don't actually know the words. I should. That's everything. Good luck, my friend.